Good morning, live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Gujarat will inaugurate key developmental projects, including in maritime sector. Estonia invokes urgent NATO consultation after Russia breaches airspace. While Moscow denies the allegation, Trump warns of big trouble ahead. Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping make progress on TikTok deal, plan to meet in South Korea. And in Asia Cup, India ends their league stage on a high note, defeating Oman by 21 runs to secure third consecutive win. Will face Pakistan on Sunday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Gujarat today, where he is going to participate in Samudra Se Samriddhi event and lay the foundation stone of multiple development projects worth over 34,200 crore rupees at Bhavnagar. In a major boost to the maritime sector, PM Modi will inaugurate and lay the foundation for multiple development projects related to the maritime sector worth over 7,800 crore rupees. He will inaugurate the Mumbai International Cruise Terminal at Indira Dock. He will also lay the foundation stone of a new container terminal and associated facilities. Prime Minister will also undertake an aerial survey of Dholera Special Investment Region, envisioned as a greenfield industrial city built around the sustainable industrialization, smart infrastructure and global investment. Prime Minister Modi will visit Lothal today to review the progress of National Maritime Heritage Complex and inspect the ongoing projects. The visit includes a detailed review meeting with officials and inspection of the work completed so far on the project, which aims to showcase India's maritime heritage at the historic Lothal site. DD India's Vishal Beresto gets us more.
The National Maritime Heritage Project, or NMHC, is being developed at Lothal, Gujarat to celebrate and preserve India's rich 4,500-year-old maritime heritage. This ambitious project, considered the world's largest maritime complex, features a museum with 14 galleries, themed parks, and recreation of Lothal city and a maritime research institute. The NMHC aims to serve as a global center for learning, tourism and showcasing India's historical and ongoing role in maritime activities.
So in first 1A, the around the costing is 1300 crores, and in this 1300 crore we are going to make 6 galleries and 1 Lothal town. This is different than any other contract that we did it. Like this is a heritage complex. Here we are making the live heritage of the Indian.
The project includes recreation of ancient dockyard. The complex will feature 4 theme parks, a maritime and naval theme park, a climate change theme park, a monuments park, and an adventure park.
I'm inside a submarine model, and there you can see this movie talks about the evolution of marine life. And I have with me Aditya. Tell us about this model.
So this is basically a simulator ride for submarine, and in this we are showing the evolution of the marine life. Okay, so this are the screens. It is basically what we can say a windows of the submarine. Okay, and the ride will move according to the video simulation. So it will be a motion ride simulation with the videos and the audio syncing.
The project is expected to elevate India's stature on the international stage by showcasing its rich maritime history and fostering global partnerships in maritime research and trade. The project is situated at Lothal, a significant archaeological site of the ancient Indus Valley civilization in Gujarat, India.
Behind me is Navy's IL-38, the Advanced Airborne Warning System, also known as Sea Dragon. And right now I'm on board X Nishank. Why X? Because after serving 30 years in Navy, this corvette class ship is finally retired. And we are talking about the history, the maritime history of India from 5,000 years to today, and how India has maintained its position as a world-class Navy. With cameraman Ramakant from the National Maritime Heritage Complex, Lothal, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
Ayushman Bharat Yojana, also known as Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana (PMJ), is the world's largest health insurance scheme. Under this program, poor families are provided with free medical treatment of up to 5 lakhs per year. More than 55 crore people have benefited from this scheme, which covers nearly 40% of India's population. For those above 70 years of age, Ayushman Bharat becomes their biggest support in old age. Preeti Kaur tells us more.
Welfare of the poor and prioritizing their interests has always been the top priority for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Be it housing, electricity, roads or healthcare, the Prime Minister has ensured that the poor are not deprived of the basic needs. To ensure that no poor person is denied medical treatment due to lack of money, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the world's largest health insurance scheme, Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, on 23rd of September 2018. Under this scheme, more than 55 crore people from the deprived sections of the society are entitled to free treatment of up to 5 lakh rupees every year. In October 2024, the scheme was expanded to include all senior citizens aged 70 years and above from every household across the country. For them, an Ayushman Vay Vandana card is issued, benefiting more than 6 crore elderly citizens. Transgender persons have also been brought under the coverage of this scheme. Additionally, 37 lakh families of Asha workers, Anganwadi workers and Anganwadi helpers have also been included. So far, under Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, more than 41 crore Ayushman cards have been issued and over 9 crore hospital admissions have been approved, amounting to savings worth over 1.4 lakh crore rupees for the poor. Notably, 49% of the hospitalized patients are women. Under the scheme, 68 lakh cancer patients have received treatment, of which 76% belong to rural areas. It has brought smiles to countless poor families, enabling them to seek treatment in hospitals they once hesitated to enter.
Government of India has given to Ayushman Bharat for needy people at the right time. It is very useful and it is very helpful to my family also, and in our villages also thousands of beneficiaries have been enrolled in Ayushman Bharat. It is very useful scheme.
The scheme covers 1,949 health packages, including 27 medical specialty packages like general medicine, surgery, cancer and heart diseases. After hospital discharge, patients receive post-treatment care for 15 days, including tests, food and travel support. The scheme covers 31,466 hospitals, out of which 14,194 are private hospitals. Portability is one of the most prominent features of this scheme, enabling people to get treatment in other states of the country as well, and not just the state where the card is registered. Through this interstate portability, more than 12 lakh people have received treatment, with the government spending over 3,100 crore rupees. The scheme is entirely cashless.
Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana is a game-changing scheme for the people of India, particularly the poor and the vulnerable. It has increased access to services for serious illnesses requiring secondary and tertiary care for 60 crore people, approximately 60 crore people.
Prime Minister Modi's vision is to provide affordable, accessible and quality healthcare to the deprived sections of the society. Recognized as one of the best healthcare models, Ayushman Bharat is proving to be the world's most revolutionary healthcare program for the poor and underprivileged. Preeti Kaur's report, DD India.
Union Information and Technology Minister Ashwini Vaishnav on Friday met Governor of New Jersey Philip Murphy of the US. Both leaders discussed Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalay and premier US universities that will establish partnerships aimed at joint research, development and academic programs. Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav also had a detailed review of Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail project. Both sides expressed satisfaction with the rapid progress. India has responded to Saudi Arabia's defense pact with Pakistan. Talking to media persons in New Delhi, a Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal said India expects Saudi Arabia to respect mutual interests and sensitivities in strategic partnerships, expressing hope that this partnership will reflect shared concerns.
India and Saudi Arabia, we have a wide-ranging strategic partnership which has deepened in the last several years considerably. We expect that this strategic partnership will keep in mind mutual interest and sensitivities.
And on Pakistan and the fight against cross-border terrorism, MEA spokesperson called on the world to intensify efforts in the fight against terrorism.
Terrorism matters, we are very clear. The world is aware of the nexus between the terrorists and the Pakistani state and military. Such statements make it even more glaring. We all have to fight cross-border terrorism and terrorism. In each and every document that comes out of a multilateral arena, whether it is BRICS or SCO or anywhere else, you see the kind of support that is there to fight international terrorism. And in fact, there is a reference to fighting cross-border terrorism as well. So, we call upon the world that we have to strengthen and intensify our efforts to deal with terrorism.
And India has welcomed Nepal's interim government, has pledged full support for peace and stability. MEA spokesperson emphasized India's commitment as a close neighbor.
The new interim government happened in Nepal. We issued a statement. We welcomed the new interim government. Post that, we had a telephone conversation between our Prime Minister and Prime Minister Karki, where we have reiterated and reaffirmed our steadfast support to Nepal, that we'll ensure all support in terms of establishing peace and stability. We are, as a development partner, as a fellow democracy, and as a close neighbor, we have extended all support to Nepal so that there is early restoration of peace and stability in the country. And it is a relationship where we'll be working together for the progress and prosperity of the peoples of the two countries.
Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Trump announces new deadly strike on suspected narcotics vessel in the Caribbean. One of the world's most beautiful villages in Vietnam. And Indian women eye history in ODI decider against mighty Aussies.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Estonia has called for consultation with other NATO members after Russian warplanes allegedly violated its airspace on Friday. 3 Russian MiG-31 fighter jets entered the Estonian skies without permission and remained there for a total of 12 minutes over the Gulf of Finland. The move has triggered complaints of a dangerous new provocation from the EU and NATO, but denial from Moscow. Italian F-35 fighters attached to NATO's air defense support mission in the Baltic states were scrambled to intercept the Russian jets and warn them off. Alliance chief Mark Rutte praised the quick and decisive response. Sweden and Finland also scrambled rapid reaction aircraft. Estonia immediately called for urgent talks with NATO allies, less than 2 weeks after Poland did the same after claiming an incursion by a wave of Russian drones. In response, Russia's defense ministry said the MiGs were on a scheduled flight from Karelia on the border with Finland to an airfield in its Kaliningrad exclave, which is surrounded by Lithuania and Poland. The statement said that during the flight, Russian aircraft did not deviate from the agreed upon route and did not violate Estonian airspace. Addressing the issue, European Union's foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, said that NATO must show no weakness and Russia is testing their patience.
We must show no weakness, because weakness is something that invites Russia to do more, and they are increasingly more dangerous not only to Ukraine but also to all the countries around Russia.
After the alleged airspace breach from Russia, Estonian Foreign Minister Margus Šekana called for a strong response. Estonian government said it was an unprecedentedly brazen incursion.
Now we need as well military planning for more capabilities, surveillance and also capabilities. But also it is very important that the NATO shows the unity amongst the membership, and also it's a very clear message to Putin that he cannot push the lines all the time. So 12 minutes violation, heavy violation of NATO airspace needs a solid response on political level and as well on practical level.
Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump said he would soon be briefed on reports that Russia had violated Estonia's airspace, made clear he was not pleased with the situation.
Russian jets entered Estonia's airspace today for 12 minutes. Do you see that as a threat to NATO?
Well, I'm going to have to look at it. They're going to be briefing me in a short while, so I'll let you know about it tonight or tomorrow. I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't like when that happens. It could be big trouble, but I'll let you know later. They're going to brief me in about an hour.
Moreover, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky also called the alleged Russian incursion into Estonian airspace unacceptable new destabilization measures by Moscow. In other news, more than 140 world leaders will descend on New York next week for the annual United Nations General Assembly Summit, which will be dominated this year by the future of the Palestinians and Gaza. In a break with convention, General Assembly voted on Friday to allow Palestinian President to address the event through a video link while he was represented in the chamber by Palestinian ambassador. Mahmoud Abbas will miss the gathering as Washington has denied a visa to attend. Along with its officials, Saudi Arabia and France will co-chair meetings from Monday on the Israeli and Palestinian two-state solution, which aims to see both sides existing alongside one another in peace. The meeting is expected to see the formal recognition of a Palestinian state by several countries after overwhelming adoption last week by the General Assembly of a text supporting a future Palestinian state, albeit without Hamas. The French presidency said on Friday that 10 countries would formally recognize Palestinian statehood at the meeting. Countries are Andorra, Australia, Belgium, Canada, Luxembourg, Portugal, Malta, Britain, San Marino, alongside France. The United States, Israel's main ally, has opposed the recognition and had earlier warned that it would deny visas to the Palestinian delegation. The United Nations Security Council did not adopt a draft resolution on Friday to permanently lift sanctions on Iran, but Tehran and key European powers still have 8 days to try and agree to a delay. 15-member UN Security Council was required to vote on the draft resolution on Friday after Britain, France and Germany launched a 30-day process on August 28th to reimpose the UN sanctions. They accused Tehran of failing to abide by a 2015 deal with world powers that aimed to prevent it from developing a nuclear weapon. Iran denies having any such intention. Russia, China, Pakistan and Algeria voted in favor of the draft text on Friday. 9 members voted against, 2 abstained. The Security Council vote has now set up a week of intense diplomacy, while world leaders, including Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian, are in New York for the annual high-level UN General Assembly. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said that Friday's divided vote shows there was no consensus in the Council. In the latest U.S. strike against a vessel carrying drugs in the U.S. Southern Command's area of responsibility, President Donald Trump has said that the Pentagon carried out strike on his orders, killing 3 male narco-terrorists aboard the vessel. U.S. Southern Command is the U.S. military's combatant command that encompasses 31 countries through South and Central America and the Caribbean. The latest strike, at least the third against alleged drug vessels, comes amid large U.S. military buildup in the southern Caribbean. 5 F-35 aircraft were seen landing in Puerto Rico on Saturday after the Trump administration ordered 10 of the stealth fighters to join the buildup. The U.S. military carried out a strike earlier this week in the southern Caribbean that targeted an alleged Venezuelan drug cartel vessel heading to the United States. Ecuador's president formally called for a referendum that he hopes will lift decades-old ban on foreign military bases on Ecuadorian soil as he seeks U.S. help to curb rampant cartel-related violence. Daniel Noboa has staked his political fortunes on reducing record murder rates, but his country, once among the safest in Latin America, is still one of the most dangerous. Earlier this month, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio visited Ecuador, promising more security aid and raising the prospect of sending U.S. troops. For years, the United States operated an important military base at the Pacific port of Manta, and the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration had a sizable footprint in the country. In other news, U.S. President Donald Trump announced that Chinese President Xi Jinping has approved a deal to keep TikTok running in the U.S., easing tensions between the two nations. Both leaders spoke for about a couple of hours in their first call in 3 months. They agreed to meet in South Korea in about 6 weeks to discuss trade, fentanyl and Russia-Ukraine war. While China hasn't confirmed the TikTok deal publicly, Trump said only a formality remains. Congress had threatened to ban TikTok by January this year unless its U.S. assets were sold by Chinese parent, a company that's ByteDance. Donald Trump sounded upbeat and described the conversation as great, confirmed the deal is now moving forward. He also highlighted the involvement of major American investors in the deal.
It was great. I had a great call with President Xi, and as you know, he approved the TikTok deal. And we're in the process. We have some great investors, some of the biggest in the world, American investors, great people. And we look forward to getting that deal closed.
Let's now take a look at other stories making news around the world. Vietnam's Cam Than village in Da Nang has been ranked 20th on the Forbes list of world's 50 most beautiful villages. The only entry from Vietnam, Hoa An, ancient town, has also been named Asia's most beautiful historic center by Tulane, highlighting Vietnam's cultural and tourism appeal. At London Fashion Week, Turkish-born designer Bora Aksu unveiled his Spring-Summer 2026 collection on Friday, inspired by his collection of broken dolls. The show embraced cracks and imperfections as models walked in tailored outfits, see-through gloves and bonnet hats adorned with bows. The pastel-heavy palette with touches of darker shades reflected the theme of beauty in flaws. Let's turn to sports. India stayed unbeaten in the Asia Cup with 21-run win over Oman in their final group game in Abu Dhabi. Already through the Super 4, Surya Kumar Yadav's men used the match to test their bench strength. India put up 188 on a tough surface, but Oman made a real fight of it. Veteran Amir Kaleem and youngster Hamad Mirza hit half-centuries, keeping the chase alive till about the 18th over. Oman ended at 167 for 4, falling short out, leaving India with few lessons ahead of the Pakistan clash. And Indian women stand on the brink of history as they gear up for the ODI series decided against world champions Australia in New Delhi. After a crushing 102-run win, their first over Australia in 12 matches, Harmanpreet Kaur's squad is riding high thanks to Smriti Mandhana's sublime century and fiery spells from Renuka Thakur and Kranti Gaur. But drop catches and shaky middle order loom large. With the World Cup just days away, a series win would be more than just a milestone. It would be a signature statement that India has arrived. Can India finally conquer the unconquered? Only the decider match will tell. The action is set to begin at about 1:30 p.m. today at Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi. That's all for this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan this QR code on your screen and download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.